most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin aka MMAnomaly, Emiliano aka Jive Turkey Nano, and Alex Pip aka Pip's Piano Tips.
Let's go. What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. I'm your host, Olin, aka MMAnomaly. And with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, talking about a Jive Turkey, Nano. And first things first, before we jump into this UFC Baku card, Nano, how are you doing on this beautiful Monday evening?
Let's go. Great to see you, brother, and great to be here with all of y'all again on this marvelous Monday. I am doing great, brother. The vibes are high, as always. We got some sunshine here in the city, and more importantly, we had some violence that we need to discuss from this last Saturday. As you can see, it's just us two. No one on the piano keys today. I'm talking about an Alex Pip, aka Pip's Piano Tips. But that's okay. We're gonna do the best to take our meat off the bones here. And brother, great to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. And man, it's gonna be a great one. There you go.
It is, man. It is going to be a good one. Obviously, we miss Pips when he's not here, but we're going to do our best to walk you folks through it, you know, all the same. And you know what? Why don't we, let's see here. We'll put the piano background music on in his absence. You know, we'll give it to you guys like that.
I like that.
All right? In his honor. And before we jump into the card, one more thing. We got to jump into the chat. We got WMC Western Mass, my guy. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, indeed, brother.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We got John Dong. My brother, how you doing? How you doing?
What about
Sedong? Love that. Sedong. Yeah, let us know you guys' thoughts on this fight. I'll be honest. This is one of those fight cards that was not that heavily talked about. But I digress. It was a lot of fucking fun. I feel like I start a lot more episodes than not with this, but it was not without its controversy. No. This fight card definitely had some controversy, and we'll get into it. But this main event between Rafael Fiziev. I always do the Brazilian R for him, and it's not supposed to be that way. He's not from Brazil. What am I doing? Rafael Fiziev coming in against Manuel Torres. This had no controversy. This was just fucking fireworks, brother. So let's jump right into it. Rafael Fiziev comes in and just takes 15 seconds after the first round bell ends into round number 2 to get it done. Nano, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Tell the people what you thought about this fight.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And maybe that's partially because I wasn't able to break down my thoughts before this bout. But I'll tell you what, man, I was absolutely excited. And it was every bit of what I thought it was going to be. I think I would have loved to have seen more of this fight. Obviously, it did get finished here in the second round. Both guys were a virtual pick 'em going in. But Rafael Fiziev really took over early and often, man. I mean, his punching, his pedigree, his leg strikes, you know, landing that spinning back heel to a Manuel Torres on top of just the damage that Manuel was showing. I mean, it was a hell of a performance. I have a lot of respect for Manuel. I think he's going to continue to do some great things here, but like we continue to see, man, it's levels at this the top of this lightweight division. I think that's maybe one of my other big takeaways, aside from just knowing how violent Rafa is, knowing that Manuel Torres is going to bounce back and that he's going to go out on a shield every single time. But what I did learn is, man, just when you think about the greats that are in this division here, the Mauricio Hufis of the world, the Justin Gaethjes of the world, those are the only ones that are beating the Rafael Fiziev. I mean, if it's an alternate universe, Rafael is in that conversation for title contender status. But, you know, as of now, again, we're in an era, fortunately, to have so many Hall of Famers and legends, and Rafael is, or Hafa, as I'm just maybe coining the nickname here today, easily putting his name and mark on the division here as someone that's just going to come bring the violence. He applied nothing but pressure. Shout out WMC here in the chat for just putting Poirier out there. Shout out Poirier. DP's been going through a lot, man. That's a whole nother conversation. Maybe it's a whole nother conversation. I digress.
As I just put in the chat, he's okay, brother. He got drunk on Father's Day, like most fathers did. He was simply surrounded by the wrong people. He's okay. He's going to be fine. Okay, he's not Conor McGregor. He doesn't have multiple women accusing him of rape. He's not punching old men in bars for not drinking with him. He was, however, wrestling with a lot of Ben Askren's team, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours before the arrest, looking pretty housed, having a good time, not having any ill will at all. I think it could have been something very similar on the plane. Like, we don't know the whole story. We don't know why the altercation started. It could have been him and another guy on the plane just roughhousing and horsing around, and then somebody thought they were fighting, reported him to the cops, and he got arrested because of it. I've seen that happen before with friends. So we simply don't know, right? But no. I didn't want to cut in there. Were you done with your breakdown? Before I
appreciate you hopping in. Obviously we gotta respond to the live comments as they come in. We appreciate y'all for it for sure. And I have similar thoughts. I mean, Rune for DP, he's still a legend to me. I mean, he's been open and honest about his journey, and he's going to continue to keep on going and keep on growing, as we say as well. So Rune for him. And with that, yeah, I mean, Hafa, and just like it, Dustin Poirier, back to this lightweight division. I mean, so many legends, so many Hall of Famers. Like, Rafa put himself right back into that conversation. I'm excited to see what's next. But hopefully this Samita left on the bone for you, big dog. How did you feel about this main event last Saturday night?
Man, what a main event it was. I mean, he's coming off that loss to Mauricio Rufy, right? And coming in on a skid like that against Torres, who's a dangerous finisher, like, this had fireworks written all over it, as we alluded to. Torres is powerful. He's an aggressive lightweight who typically pressures hard and throws heavy hands. But this fight kind of played out exactly as I thought it would. I thought that it was going to look a bit like a dogfight, and make no mistake about it, round one was a bit of a dogfight, right? Even if you look at the stats, 28-26 on total strikes landed, 25-22 on significant strikes landed. And Fiziev turned into a wrestler a little bit there, right? He landed 2 of 2 takedowns, looked pretty solid with it. But I mean, ultimately the low kicks from Fiziev were just adding up early and often. And obviously the head movement of Fiziev, the guy, when he fights, the only thing that comes to mind is the Matrix, right? Like the Neo backbend to get out of the way of kicks and punches. He was always just kind of right outside of range. And ultimately what led to the finish 15 seconds into round number 2, Nano, it's something that we've talked about. It's something I've actually demonstrated for you in person, like at my old San Jose apartment, I'm pretty sure, or maybe at your house, your old place in Arizona, right? Where when a fighter is blocking, you want to be touching yourself, essentially. Like, you want to have your hands against your you want to have your hands touching your head, right? This one. But if you have a gap between them, what ends up happening is if there's a gap between your hand and your head, when you eat a strong enough shot, mainly kicks, it's not so bad for punches. When you eat a really strong kick, it's gonna make you hit yourself, right? And that's exactly what we saw happen. He got rocked from a kick that he blocked. If it was blocked, you shouldn't get rocked. And if you get rocked, it was blocked wrong. Lazy bed. Couldn't have put it better myself. Mind the gap. Always got to mind the gap, my friend. That kick ripped. Yeah, dude. It rippled across his fucking shit. But again, if he would have been planted here, I'm a firm believer. Maybe he gets rocked, but I think his equilibrium is still there a lot more than it was right before that finish took place. So let's fucking go. Let's go. I thought it was a fantastic fight. Fantastic showing for Rafael Fiziev, getting back on the horse again, back in the saddle. Now the big question in lies, Nano, what do you think should be next for this man in a stacked division?
Yeah, that's the question to answer here, y'all. Let us know how you feel in the chat as well. I'm torn, but I will say I'm also having a harder time choosing his next stance partner, trying to toggle between the media rankings or meta rankings. I don't know what's really what these days, or what Dana and Brash are going to weigh more. But what I will say is he deserves somebody that is somebody, right? Wherever he's in the ranking, I say he should fight maybe someone ahead of him. first name that came into mind, it's someone that's coming off a loss, but he's a notable name that can maybe help get him closer to a rematch with the Justin Gaethje, who is the current champion. I'm talking about a Dan the Hangman Hooker here. Again, love seeing him throw down. I think they both have violence all over it. And I see WMC Fiziev Hooker double question mark. Anyone into that? Guess what? I am WMC. I see you. W's in the chat. That's exactly what I said. I did not see that before. I mentioned it, so we're on the same page. Great minds think alike. You know the vibes. That's what I'm thinking, though. I think that's and look at that. Ha, great minds. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Come on. Get out of my brain, WMC. Just kidding.
I'm not mad at it. It is crazy, the discrepancy between the new meta rankings and the old UFC rankings in comparison to the Tapology rankings or the Sherdog rankings, right? I don't know if anybody really uses Sherdog anymore. They really fell off. But anyways, I digress. The Tapology really stepping their shit up. Fun fact, Nano, for the Fantasy League, highly recommend making one of the free accounts on Tapology if you don't already have one. They added a strength of schedule tab for each fighter across weight classes. So fire. Fire for the research, brother. Oh, man. And again, going back to the discrepancy, right? I didn't think of Dan Hooker because I'll be honest with you. When I was coming up with my picks, I was not looking at the meta rankings. I am a big Tapology guy. So Dan is ranked 16, which is like 4 below Rafael Fiziev now, who moved up 5 slots on Tapology over the weekend. For me, and I know this is coming out of left wind a little bit, I'm a big fan of this guy, but I'd be a bigger fan of both these guys fighting each other. I'm talking about Renato Money Moicano. I think that's a fun fight.
I mean, when Money Moicano's involved, you know it's going to be money in the bank. I love that. Good 2 contenders. Is Renato technically, or maybe in Tapology, you said he's ranked above him?
In Tapology, he's ranked above him, and he's ranked highly above him in the meta rankings. Meta's got him at 7.
Well, that fits my criteria. Let's go. Run it.
Yeah, run it. Move him up, man. And I'm very happy with Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker versus anybody. Sign me the fuck up. Take my money. You know how it goes, folks. Now let's talk about a very weird fight. We had Sharabullet Magomedov coming in against Michel Pereira, my fitness consigliere, Michel. Every time this guy fights, I kind of want to see him lose because I feel like he's a cheater. He grabs the cage, he gets a grounded opponent, and then does a front flip in which he lands with his foot on their head. You call me crazy, but like that still counts as kicking the head of a grounded opponent. But he never gets called on it because he did a front flip before, and the ref's always like, woo, front flip. So I'm not a fan. But this was a fight where, you know, it's lose-lose. Kind of like when your 2 favorite fighters fight each other. It's like, man, either way, one of my favorite fighters is going to lose tonight. And that's tough. Either way, one of these cheaters was going to win. I feel like Shara also cheats in every fight that he's in. He actually outdid Michel in the cheating in this one, didn't he, Nano? I mean, you have nice, beautiful, long, luscious locks of hair there, Nano. I would probably grab your shit in a street fight. But if we are in the gym and I grab your shit, like, brother, that is dishonor. You don't do that. This was a weird fight. I obviously thought that Shara should have won. But at the same time, I also thought that Shara should have had a point removed. And if that happened, he loses the fight. Curious to hear you guys in the chat's opinions on this. Lazy Bed, I know you got something on this one, bro. I know you got something on this one. And yes, I know Fiziev beat Moicano back in 2020, but Moicano's been on a decent run. And I think that that's a fun one to run back. No, I did not mention it. I had it in my notes, but I went rogue. Not going to lie to you. WMC Moicano was the next name I would have said, but I'm not sure that's as fun of a fight. I agree with you. I think the funner fight is Dan Hooker, but as far as rankings goes and kind of course of career goes, Moicano makes. If I'm Fiziev, I'd rather fight Moicano. Does more for my career. Why does UFC rankings have Paulo ranked 14 at middleweight, brother? We could do a whole episode on the meta rankings. Honestly. It's funny because, like, depending on what weight class you're looking in, you'll be like, dude, they're so good. And then you move to the next weight class and you're like, they're so ass. Like, they're garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty inconsistent. And again, there's the media, there's the meta rankings, there's Tapology. I mean, I guess it's just hard to know what the truth is in that sense.
It's honestly insane. It's insane. Like, why is Alex Pineda ranked number 1 at light heavyweight? He's never fighting there again. And if he does, it's not going to be this year or next. That doesn't make any sense to anybody at all. Yeah, we could literally do a whole episode on that. I could do a spreadsheet on how bad some of the divisions are. But I digress, Nano. I don't care to spend a ton of time talking about this fight. It was a very weird one. And I'm not really sure what should be next for Shara. Maybe a meeting with the council to go over the rules. But what were your thoughts on the fight, bro?
Yeah, we can keep it short and sweet for the most part, but I thought it was an interesting fight. I feel like it's kind of on brand with both of these guys. You just simply never know what you're going to get, and some guys can have, and both of these fighters, I mean, can have some of the highest of the highs, but have also had some low moments too, right? And you mentioned whether it's maybe a breaking of the rules or just maybe breaking from what might have been a specific game plan, or just, hey, getting caught, you know, keeping your hands down. I mean, Sharabullet was the winner, but he did get dropped at one point. But otherwise, I mean, he did prove his toughness. Michel Bejeda is someone that, again, you just, at his best, could be an absolute problem in the division, but he just can't string together a full 15 minutes. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the decision making in there, or, you know.
Real quick, because you brought up decision making and the fact that he could be an absolute unit at middleweight, right? I was watching this fight at my significant other's mother's house, and her brother was over there, and he had the fights on because he knew I was coming over. So I sat down and we watched the fights together for the main card. And when this fight came on, he's like, "Oh, this is the guy that does all the stupid stuff, right? Like the front flips, the back flips, the Superman punches, like the Showtime kick." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's him."
Yep.
And we watched the first round, and he's like, "Holy fuck. If he actually fights smart, he could be an animal, bro. Like, he actually looks really good right now." And second round starts, and I think maybe 35 seconds into it or so, he's all, "Yeah, dude, if he keeps this up and he doesn't do anything stupid, he could actually win this fight." And right as he said that, he threw a Superman punch with no setup and out of range. And then he ended up getting fucking kicked. And then just tide started to turn for Shara. And he's like, "Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon." And I think there's something to that. You literally just said he just can't string together a full 15 minutes. I think he has everything he needs to string together a full 15 minutes other than fight IQ.
That might be part of the equation here.
You know, like, you remember when Dustin Poirier was featherweight and it's like he'd eat one punch, he'd be like, "Yeah, let's fucking go." He'd brawl and drop his guard, kind of. And he'd get dropped hella fucking times. Like, he does that, but instead of being like, "Yeah, let's go," he's like, front flip, back flip, spinning back shit. It's wild,
spinning
bro.
Back shit. Spam.
Genuinely, bro. Sorry, didn't mean to derail your train of thought there.
No, not at all, brother. I appreciate you jumping in. I love the back and forth. Definitely makes it easier, makes time go by a little bit smoother. I appreciate it. And yeah, honestly, I mean, like you said, I think Michel has his ups and downs, and Sharabullet, I guess I don't know if he necessarily went up a lot of spots here in the rankings. I'm trying to find his place on Tapology, but you know, he's flown around that outside of the top 15, and I think that's probably where he should be. Someone else that's coming off a win as well that fought this last card is an Abbas Magomedov, who we'll be talking about later. Even Ikram coming off the same card. I like the timing. Maybe he gets lined up with one of those two type of guys, but I don't think you really go much higher than that. Yeah, but it was an interesting fight, and yeah, Sharabullet gets the dub. That's what matters.
You know, it's funny. You were saying you were looking for him on Tapology to see kind of where he's went. He didn't move at all. He's still 24. So nobody was really impressed with the performance, if I'm calling a spade here. I like this from John Dong. Not a name that I thought of, but I actually like it better than the names that I thought of. So he said they should do Kyle Dawkins versus Shara next. I know Dawkins is coming off a loss, but he destroyed Michel Pineda. He fucking killed that guy. He ate his fucking lunch and stole his lunch money. It was wild. He bullied him. The other name that I had, or names, I had Roman Dolidze, I think would probably make a little bit of sense. And then the other name was Nursulton Ruziboev, coming off that nasty win over Andre Pulaev. He's now sitting right underneath Sharabullet in the rankings of Tapology at the very least, 25 to 24. I like those. I like those names a lot. Nano, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, those are all solid. I think I like the ones you mentioned, and even the Docus shout out more than the ones I put out there. Nursulton makes sense. Again, maybe similar methodology in that they all are obviously just fought. With Docus, I mean, coming off a knockout, who knows how long he'll need. So that'd be my only trepidation with going that route, is just the timing of things. But yeah, I like all the shouts here for Sharabullet. And I guess the other thought is that he cannot fight in the States, right? Is that his current status? Not to get too sidetracked, but if it has to be somewhere like overseas, I guess.
I've actually heard that he is able to fight in the States.
Okay, that's good. Or maybe, yeah, maybe there's.
I think it's just certain commissions that he can get to clear it, and others won't. So I think it's very limited where he can fight in the States.
I like Nursulton though. Coming off 3 wins, very decorated. Probably willing to get back in there sooner rather than later. Why not?
And tried looking up using Grok what the concussion protocol is for Kyle Daukaus with the knockout, and there's no public record release, but typically UFC mandatorily makes them take 30 to 60 days off based on doctor's orders. So 30 to 60 days off, not that long off. You can probably run that in like November, December card, one of the final numbered cards of the year.
Yep, there you go.
Have that as like a main card opener or something. I mean, Daukaus versus Sharabullet's a firefight. I like that one a lot. Now let's talk about a fight that I got wrong. We didn't even do a prediction show, but I'm still going to do my shot on this one because I was so fucking bullish. This was my dog of the week. Man. It was tough. Oleg Sejcik was my dog of the week. What am I talking about? But Nazim's my boy. I don't know if you remember Nano, but he won the season for Ninos like 2 seasons ago.
He did.
Fucking guy.
He did.
Came back and fought a second time and just destroyed his opponent. But in this one, he was having trouble getting started, wasn't he? Like, but that's the thing. Like, even his coach will say he's the type of guy that has to get hit before he gets started. And he only got hit 4 times. Make no mistake about it. It was not a crazy lengthy fight. It lasted a whopping minute and 31 seconds. And I think that the referee should probably be revoked of his refereeing license after that one. Like, you got to know who you're reffing for. Did you watch his last fight in Azerbaijan? Literally in the same fucking country. He got the shit beat out of him. He ate like a 16-piece combo and came back and won via like one-shot knockout. Again, some guys fight like that. And I get it. Optically, he did get rocked on that shot that landed, right? I think it was a straight hand just down the pipe. And it connected hard. He went down hard. He went down fast. He looked dazed, possibly even out. Flash knockout status. But as we know with flash knockouts, you're only out for a second, right? And then you're right back in it. And in those last 3-4 shots that his opponent threw, Nano, I don't know about you, but I counted 0 getting through. Like literally 0. He blocked every one of those shots. If I'm reffing a fight and I see somebody get optically fucking wrecked, and I don't stop the fight that moment, and then he starts intelligently defending every shot coming toward him after that, I'm a real asshole if I go and stop that fight. And to be completely honest, I'm going to look the ref's name up so I can address him formally while you're doing your breakdown. But to be quite frank, Nano, I think that guy was being a real asshole by stopping that fight. I think he had money on it. I don't know. He had the under one round. Either way, cheers, folks. If you're drinking, drink with us. If you haven't done so yet, please like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications, and we appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you for being here. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, man. I think, it's an unfortunate, human element of the game and any sport that we typically love here in this violent game. The reality is these refs are here to help save lives, help preserve these fighters' careers. I think you can look at it both ways. I'm not going to be definitive with either way. Honestly, when I first watched it, I mean, you see him get dropped. I think we could all agree, pretty obvious. And then he does shell up for the upcoming shots. And yes, he is blocking him, and he's being what I believe I typically define as being smart or defending himself intelligently, right? Maybe that's like the more formal definition I would use or have used in the past or have heard. Yeah, I think maybe you want to see a little bit more. You want to give these fighters every opportunity, right? And I know sometimes even the refs will like comment or say, like maybe you'll hear her being like, "Hey, fighter, show me something." And again, if there's just shelled up or maybe not advancing position or responding or kicking or something, if they don't see enough, that's the subjective part of the game again. Maybe, and then it sucks too because it's not like you could really use a replay, right? Like in other sports, you can challenge it or go back to the replay. It's like if he calls it off, I guess maybe you could. All to say, like whether it's different angles or where the ref is at that time, maybe if more of them had the cameras, that can help us out as well, so we see exactly what they're seeing. But yeah, man, it sucks, right? Especially someone like Nazim. I think he was the Ben favorite as well. Yeah, Jason, shout out Lazy Bet here. Jason Herzog would have said, "Move, fighter." Yeah, I mean, you hear certain things, or maybe sometimes we hear it, or you don't.
Show me something.
Yeah, show me something. But that's the name of the game, right? I guess in some ways, would we rather seen one extra punch, like a Jack Hermanson situation, where then Nazim's actually hurt, he's still young in his career, or do you say, hey, I mean, you got dropped, and I don't know how many more you wanted to see, but it's like if that was what he felt was going to be what the case, then so be it. Spent so much time on that, way more time than how long the fight was, but yeah, I guess all to say, I guess I'm okay with him saving the fight, but I would have personally liked to see maybe a little bit more, even a couple more punches, right? Yeah, but can't go back.
You can't go back. Can't go back. Mistakes are mistakes, and mistakes were made. So I say, with all due respect, Rich Mitchell, that was a real dick move. Do better. You're usually a pretty bang up ref, to be completely honest. I do recall you actually taking a point for an eye poke in a recent fight. I think it was like UFC 321 or UFC 322. But again, I digress. This was not the move and was a pretty terrible stoppage. But with that being said, didn't really learn a whole lot in this fight, if I'm calling a spade here either. And as far as for what's next, I mean, I don't really know. Again, like we just didn't really learn a ton about this guy. But if we're going off meritocracy alone, he did beat Nazim technically, right? And that's worth noting. So if he got the win over Nazim, give him somebody that's ranked higher than him, right? You could give him. God, I hate this matchup, but I'm going to say it anyway. You give him the loser of Esteban Ribovic versus Edson Barboza.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name. That's the main matchup that I had. Other than that, you give him Michael Johnson. Kind of a litmus test of do you belong here?
Yeah, I think that's a good range. Different stages of their career, though you never really see any bias for the UFC brash on, where they are, how old they are, and all of that. You see it all over. Yeah. But Mason Jones, another good name just to throw out there. I mean, we're talking about a deep division, but the Dragon's someone at 31, coming off a win or two. I mean, could make sense as well. But honestly, again, I think at this stage of his career, it's going to be hard to pick a name, but I think we're in the right ballpark.
Yeah, I like it. What else I liked was Asu Almabayev in the flyweight division against Charles Johnson. Charles is our boy. I know that. You had him this season in fantasy, and you know what? With his whopping 8 points that he got you, he held the fucking line.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry, he got you 10 points, and then Mikhail OXH got you 8.
Unbelievable.
You beat Mary by not that many points.
No, dude. Not at all.
Because she had Asu Almabayev who got her 110 plus points. But man, congrats to you. You got it done in the end. From second to last, I believe, to first place. Like, that's fucking noteworthy, bro.
Thank you. It was a fun year. every dog has its day, but you know, glad that it wasn't Drew is all I can say as well. Love you, Drew.
He's already texted me saying that he's better in odd seasons, and it's season 5, so he's taking the belt back. We'll see.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
We'll see. I love the shit talk.
Absolutely.
What else I loved, Nano, was, and I'm going to give you the reins on this one first, but before I pass them to you, I got to say, what stood out to me the most, like if you asked me to describe Asu Almabayev's performance in one word, I would say aggression. Like, as I pass you the reins and ask you, what the fuck did you learn from this fight? And what stood out to you most? I ask you before you answer those questions. Have we ever seen Asu Almabayev this fucking mean?
No, especially against a mean fighter like a Charles Energy Johnson. That's why he was on my fantasy team. Dude's a mean son of a gun. He wants to go out there and be violent and sort of even impose his will and really take the will of his opponents. Man, I was really surprised. And that's maybe because, again, I'm watching with rose-colored glasses. I'm rooting for Energy Johnson to go out there, take care of business. Fantasy season on the line here. We're talking 6 months of a build-up. And like you said, Asa Almabayev is absolutely all about that business. He showed he has all the skill set, and I feel like the common theme tonight with some of these fighters is just, hey, they were able to do everything their opponent was able to do, but just a little bit more as well, and a little bit better, a little bit sharper, a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little bit more definitive, and that's really what it boiled down to. I mean, the type of creative submission that Asa got, I don't know what it was, but virtually pretzeled or just stretched Charles to a submission victory. Loved it. Even as a fan of Charles Energy Johnson, just more of a fan of violence and fun, exciting finishes. And yeah, this guy's stringing together some really, really big wins. I think it's hard to look at his skill set, and really his only blemish is to, which age like a fine wine now, was to a Manel Cop back in 2025. Other than that, the dude has been on an absolute tear, and I don't know who else outside of that's going to be able to take care of this kid, especially at this stage, man. So I'll leave it there. What a performance. And, brother, how did you feel?
The Sulaev stretch, my guy. That was nasty work.
Sulaev stretch, crazy work.
And I'm not going to lie, like, when I first saw him land, like, sinking it in, I was like, is he landing a banana split right now? And then I realized it was a Sulaev stretch. Just fucking clockwork, bro. The way that he got it done, rare finish, rare submission. He's technical. He's elite level with the grappling and control on the top. Johnson's tough. He's athletic. He's the scrambles he was able to actually do. And again, if you've been tuning in for multiple years, months, etc., I apologize if you've heard this one, but fuck, he was doing everything right, was Charles Johnson. But Asu was just a step ahead of him, doing all the right things as well to counter. And he was a step ahead. He was a little bit faster. He was a little bit stronger and a little bit smaller. And in those exchanges, being smaller sometimes helps you because you are able to move quicker. You do have less, kind of time between point A and point B whenever you are in those scrambling situations. And I think those paid dividends for him. He went 6 for 9 on his takedowns, a little fucking just takedown machine out there, and outlanded his opponent 2-1, 73-32 on total strikes. And in terms of significant strikes, it was 28-21. So again, make no mistake about it, the man to my this direction, the man to my right, he is absolutely fucking correct in saying that this guy is a stud, and he is absolutely going out there doing everything he can to end a fight. He's throwing with intention when he throws, right? That's why he landed so many significant strikes, even though he got outdone 2-1 on total strikes. But Asu Almabayev, man, the leg kicks were so nasty. And you got a long, lanky guy that's got good footwork, that's able to get out of the pocket, drop his trees. A man moves a lot slower when he's on one leg. I promise you that. So that's what he was doing to him. He was chopping the trees very early on. It was a stunning, fantastic performance. And Nano, on that, I can't wait to hear who you want to see Asu Almabayev in there against next.
Man, this is a tough one, brother. I mean, I think this guy is certainly ready for the quote-unquote big leagues, and he's essentially already there, right? I mean, you're looking at someone that's in the rankings. And his only loss was to a Manuel Cop. I'm not saying that's who should be next. Sounds like Manuel's going to wait. But maybe his previous opponent, maybe someone that just lost to a Manuel Cop. I'm talking about the Karate Kid, Horiguchi. Okay, at this stage in his career, he's going to want to get back on the bike as soon as possible. Sean Moody, shout out. Herzigo is what he is throwing in the chat. I don't know if he's saying Horiguchi or if that's a different name, but either way.
Who's Herzigo?
I know, Mike. Or Yerzig? Are we talking Yerzog? Yerzig? Jason Herzog? Is that what we're talking about? Either way.
The ref?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Jason Herzog's about to get in there with him? I'm down. I'd watch it. No, I had Kyoji Horiguchi on my list as well. I think that one makes the most sense. Outside of that, I mean, Tatsuro Taira? Anybody? I feel like that could be a really, really fun fucking matchup.
Definitely could. That's the next best one for sure.
Like, you have two guys in there that are both kind of unwilling to go down and both very technical. Howdy, fellas. Hope you're having a great night. Hope you're having an even better one, Jimbo's old lady. We appreciate you joining us.
Great to have
Herzog and Peridios as ref is garbage. Herb Dean is getting flaws in his ref of fights. Mario B. Steve were legends. I actually like Herzog. I think Herzog is a fantastic ref. He's one of the better refs and more consistent refs. There was some shady shit that he did last year, though, I will say. And that damn Ben Whitaker stoppage yesterday was garbage. Did Ben Whitaker fight yesterday? What the fuck? Hold on. He was on the boots in his card? I should have watched that whole card. Oh, I should have watched that whole card. Dang. What tell me, Sean Moody, what about it was bad? I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm a big fan of Ben Whitaker. I think he's the truth, bro. He's so technical. Herb Dean used to be one of my favorite refs, but lately he's making some shitty calls. Facts, Jimbo's old lady. Facts. I agree. I 100% agree. It's kind of like I used to like Mario Yamasaki up until I didn't, up until he was letting motherfuckers die in there. Fought Popeye the Sailor Man, Richard Rivera, and second round dude got up and was good, and ref waved it up. Oh, wow. How many times was he dropped? Because that seems pretty unorthodox, bro. That doesn't seem super normal to me. Interesting one. Speaking of interesting ones, Nano, let's talk about the middleweight division. A bout between Ikram Aliskerov coming in against Bruno Ferreira. And man, Lady Gaga may have been right when she said we don't talk about Bruno. Holy shit, brother. 114-23. Systematic drowning is what I would call this, if I had to sum it up in 2 words. 5 out of 6 takedowns. Seeing a bit of a trend here, right? 6 out of 9 in the last fight, 5 out of 6 in this fight. You know what I'm talking about? In the main event, we had 2 for 2. Takedowns win fights, folks. The issue was Bruno Ferreira is just not able to get up. And who was it? I think it may have been Bisping, where John Gooden said at one point, he's all, "Oh, this should be a classic matchup between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus Sambo, Russian Sambo." And Bisping instantly interjects and he's like, "Well, Sambo wins that every time in a grappling match, John." And he's not wrong. Like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like, you don't really have takedown entries. You have great scrambling. You have great submission threats on and off the back. But I digress. We're talking about control and strikes and everything else of MMA being added. Takedowns. Sambo is going to be bad. Is going to be bad, my brother. That's what the Islam version of the Dustin Poirier arrest would have been. It's going to be bad, my brother. It's going to be bad, my brother. And it was bad. He took him down. He ragdolled him. He beat him up. I mean, it was what, almost 5-1 on total strikes, and it was well over 2-1, almost 3-1 on significant strikes here. There's not a lot else to say. Single leg, double leg, blast double, outside trip, inside trip, hip toss. I mean, anything that he wanted was pretty much there for him in this fight. And it's tough because Bruno, like, especially in that last round when he did get to stand up, he was so gassed at that point. There was not a whole lot that he could do, Nano. Like, he was trying to throw, but there was not a lot of pop behind those shots. Curious to hear your thoughts on this. Did you learn anything? And I apologize for not leaving a ton of meat on the bone on this one.
No, I appreciate it, brother. I think that definitely deserves a good analysis, and happy to take any bit that's left here. But no, I mean, I did learn a lot about Ikram, and I think I tend to forget that really his only blemish was a loss to Rob Whittaker, right? And then maybe the loss way back when to a Khamzat Chimaev. But other than that, I mean, Ikram has been pretty gosh darn solid, and this was a really good example of just how good he is, just outclassed our boy Bruno, who we love because he is super violent. And I think he just got debilitated in there, whether it was just, not being able to get within his reach or make it nasty. As far as like some of the dirty boxing is concerned, just Ikram was able to keep it within his range, keep it at his pace, was just doing better with the strike, with the countering. I mean, all types of striking as well. I mean, the fact that Bruno landed 23 out of 61 punches. We're talking about a 38% clip. Like, oof. I know we've been talking about efficiency a lot lately, but man, he was swinging and missing a lot, and that was because of Ikram's defense on top of great offensive wrestling, great takedown defense, great takedowns, and then great strike and great uppercuts, and man, just was really impressed with Ikram all around. In terms of what's next for him, I don't know how high. As I just kind of glazed the guy, I don't know if it's like, is a Joe Body Bags too far up? Does he stand, to walk with all the alphas here at the top of this division? I guess in terms of merit, you can certainly make a case, but I even like someone like a Bo Nickel. I mean, shoot, two different guys that can wrestle, two guys that are getting better with their striking. I think that'd be the biggest fight for a Bo Nickel. But coming off a Freedom 250 card, again, Ikram coming off this card now, I mean, I think the timing can make sense. What do you think, brother?
I like your picks a lot, actually. The name, I only got one name for this, and I'll be honest. I think there's one name that really makes more sense than the others. Sorry, brother. I'm going with the sniper. I just genuinely think that Nasruddin Imavov makes the most sense for him. He doesn't have a fight partner. He's currently ranked a little bit above him, I believe. He's ranked number 4 on Tapology. Let's see where he is, actually, because I could be fucking putting my foot in my mouth. No, he's number 3 on the UFC rankings, and Ikram just moved up 4 slots to number 10. Let him move up 6 slots for the fight. I just think him versus Nasruddin is not a number 1 contender shot, but it's a number 1 contender shot, if that makes sense. Like the winner of that versus the winner of another big fight each other, and that guy gets to fight Sean or whoever's the belt holder at that time.
I like it.
John Dong, random question. Who's a tougher fight for Khabib? Prime Tony or Prime Benny? Prime Benny. Do you mean Ben Askren? Or Beneil Dariush? Who are you talking about? But I genuinely think he would have done bad things to Prime Tony. I think the Tony legacy dodged a massive bullet in that fight not happening. I feel like they're gonna do Bo versus Izzy next. I wouldn't be surprised by that. He already fought the Bo doppelganger in Joe Pyfer. Why not? Olin, Nano, Juice Man.
Hey,
my
Juice.
Guy. How you doing, Juice? The juice is loose.
Great to see you. Love the picture.
Dude, what an artistic finish by Fiziev. 100%. Oh, man. Beneil Dariush. Oh, man. Beneil Dariush could not do anything to Khabib. I trained at AKA. I've seen that guy. He's terrifying. I think he does bad things to most of the guys in the UFC. If he was still fighting today, he'd still be champ. Firm believer. It'd be him at the top and Islam as the gatekeeper, just cleaning out the other guys that he's not fighting until he relinquishes the belt. I'll die on that hill. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. This next fight was my dog of the week. And it was a sad one, Nano. It was Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. You know it was sad. It was sad for you too. Versus Abus Magomedov. Man. This was a sad one. Mikhail, it's one of those things where he looked really good up until the moment he didn't. Right? Just committed to the wrong shot, got hit, and ceased to be conscious after that, right? So as I pour up my my last shot here, Nano, tell the people, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this was an interesting one as well. Abus looked like an absolute savage out there. I like our boy Michael Lowe. I really am a fan of Michael Oleksiejczuk and his brother and just the whole family. But man, at the end of the day, I mean, all it takes is one punch to change the whole fabric of the fight. And that's exactly what we saw with Abus. He was able to land a stiff jab and really caught Michael at the right time, stepping right into it. If you're moving forward against another object, moving the other direction, a little bit of physics, a little bit extra force behind that one. And as MMAnomaly displayed here for the visual, or I guess for the audio listeners only, he got cracked on the jaw, dropped down, and was pretty much in a very vulnerable position. Although you would like to see these guys bounce back, especially so early in the fight. Well, Michael O was not able to, and that's because of Mr. Magomedov and his abilities to find a really creative choke and really trap Michael O in an improbable position to get out of. He slipped the choke. He put Michael O to sleep, and it was over with, halfway through the first round. So I think all things considered, man, Abus, I don't know if I necessarily agree with the call out of Izzy Adesanya. I think I've seen somebody ask it here in the chat. I think it's a little too rich for my blood. Okay. But excited to hear your breakdown, brother, and what else stood out to you. You obviously were taking Michael O here as your underdog of the week. So talk to the people, man. How you feeling post sleep time here for Michael O?
Feeling sad about it. Cheers, folks. I'll keep it short and sweet. Cheers to you. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And if you're watching live or you're watching on replay, we appreciate you all the same. Cheers.
Hello.
Now, instead of talking about how sad I am that I picked the wrong guy, that I backed the wrong horse in this race, as it were, instead, no, I think I'd rather wholeheartedly just talk about how impressive that submission finish was. Right? Now, I've been watching this sport for, like 28, maybe 30 years. And I've seen a lot of guillotines, whatever you call it. Tomato, I say. I've seen them all. I've seen a lot of variations, the ninja chokes of the world, the what was it? The go-go choke that fucking, or how did he do it? It was weird. The barbarian, he does bare knuckle now. Crazy choke though. Very, very weird variation on the guillotine. This one, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen. And I'm watching the fights on my phone in the passenger seat while my lady's driving so we can go get coffee because it was an early card. No whiskey that morning for the fights. And I'm seeing it and she's hearing my reaction. And I show her the replay once we park and she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like trying to do it on myself because, the guillotine, usually you're catching someone coming in typically like with a takedown or with their head down. You cinch it in, you grab your own bicep, you push down to the back of their head and you're just like reeling it in. Now, this guy, right? He gets it. And then while he's cinching it in, he is pulling up on himself. He's doing like a grip in pull up and he throws his left leg over his opponent's back. Okay. And I'm not sure if you noticed this, Nano, but his calf rested firmly across Mikhail's back so that he couldn't roll backwards or try and spin out of it. There's no defense at that point. It's just fighting the hands. And at that point, you're so winded and out of breath. It's tough to do. Oh, and by the way, instead of being here, right, which if you've trained, like you've felt a blade on your throat, you can hear the difference in voice it makes, right? But the difference in being here versus here on the side is this is carotid artery. This is blood flow to the brain, about 50% of it or so, give or take. If you're applying enough pressure on that, you're essentially, it's like clamping a hose shut. So that blood is now not getting to your brain. So you're running out of oxygen and your brain is losing blood flow. So you are unable to think and process what the next move to defensively get out of this is. And again, oh, and by the way, Nano, if you've trained something, right? Like you've been in street fights, you know exactly what the fuck I'm going to say. If you've been punched in the face, the next time it happens, you are less likely to get knocked out. You are less likely to go, oh, what the fuck? You are more likely to react in the right way. So if you've been choked like this, but you've never felt the blade of someone's wrist clamping your shit fucking shut and feeling like your head is getting pulled up and off of your body, it is panic mode. He tapped very quickly once that leg touched his back and he couldn't get out. And he still looked like he was heaving and possibly a little out whenever he released it. It was nasty, nasty, nasty work. I can't stress it enough. I backed the wrong guy, and I applaud Abbas Magomedov because that was a stunning fucking finish. And as somebody who's been here for, like I said, almost 30 years, dude, show me something I haven't seen, and I'm a fucking fan. It worked. I'm fucking a gump. You know what I mean? Guy under his power, because I'm a fan at this point. I can't wait to see what's next, Nano, and I can't wait to hear the names that you have on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, brother. I mean, you're right. This, I mean, every bit of good, every bit of real, and I mean, again, I just don't know about the Izzy shout out, but I guess again, I mean, I want to rinse and repeat, but look, I guess something like a Bo Nickel. I mean, what are you thinking, brother?
Connor was an anomaly because he was good with his mouth and he is good as a fighter. Okay, you don't usually get both, so it's okay that he's not good on the mic after his fight, calling for the wrong guy like Kitsy. Okay, we know that's not gonna be a thing. That's not gonna happen. But I do think there are other interesting matchups for him. Khamzat just got embarrassed, bro.
Jeez.
I don't think he deserves an instant rematch. You can give him Khamzat. And if you don't give him Khamzat, I mean, I don't know, man. I want to see this guy just get pole vaulted. I know that's very, very wishful thinking to say something like that. But maybe like a Caio Borraio.
Ooh.
A little Brazilian Johnny Cage.
There you go.
Honey Cage.
I like it. I like it.
Honey Cage. Oh, man. And with that, we move on into the prelims, folks. We're talking about a welterweight bout between Farman Hasanov coming in against Eric Nolan, who I feel like the UFC matchmakers really don't like. If I'm calling a spade here, right? This guy, it's tough. It's tough. You know, like his first fight in the UFC was on short notice and was against Bayasangar Susarkayev. You may have heard of him. He's fucking 12-0. One of those numbers in the 12, it was this guy. The former U.S. Marine. He came out to Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival Band, which is fucking awesome. Merc.
Banger.
You know what I'm saying? Going in enemy territory, there are people like trying to slap him and shit while he's walking to the cage. He started sprinting halfway through because he's like, fuck this. And I mean, who was it on the audio team? Was it Paul Felder that was with him? This guy's an ex-US Marine. You know he's not gonna quit out there.
Hell yeah.
I loved it. I loved it, bro. Just fucking grit and spirit. And it was tough because Farman Hasanov, I believe. Can somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong? I don't believe this is fake news. I did verify it with a source. Some say the best source. He set the UFC welterweight record of all time for most takedowns in a single fight in UFC welterweight history with 17 of 27.
Sheesh.
Now, I just want to tell you guys, if this guy is a title contender in the future, He did that with 15 minutes. Imagine what you do with 25. Dude's going to set Demetrius Johnson level records when it comes to takedowns. It was nasty. I genuinely felt bad for Eric Nolan. Every time he'd get to his feet and start to establish anything, his opponent would take him down. He split him open in, I believe, in round 2 at the end, or maybe early in round 3, and he just started bleeding leaky, as Joe used to say all the time. It was a tough fight to watch. Like I said, I genuinely feel bad for this guy. Coming out of this fight, I will tell you, I have 2 things to say. Farman Hasanov is a fucking problem. The fact that he only has 6 professional fights in MMA should not be something that you take lightly. Heavily. Like, you should take it with a grain of salt, because he is world class. And I can't wait to see him against somebody that's top tier, that has had that UFC tenure that's tried and true. And on the flip side, if you're listening, Dana and the brass, give my boy Eric Nolan one more shot. Put him in there against the striker. For the love of Christ, please put him in there against the striker. Give him a full camp, and just don't put him in there against another undefeated guy. Like, 2 undefeated guys in your first UFC fights? That's kind of fucked up, no? No. Talk to me.
Yeah, no, that is definitely not any favors given, whether they think highly of you and maybe that's why, or maybe no one's answering those calls and you're the only one willing to do it. So can definitely appreciate Mr. Eric Nolan for doing that. But yeah, this was a landslide victory here for Farman Hasanov. And yeah, with that kind of wrestling background, I don't know who is going to want to compete with someone like that, but he certainly made a name for himself and will probably continue to make splashes here in the welterweight division. Not sure how high, again, I want to throw him up here, but a lot of exciting names that I'm looking at here as I scroll through the rankings, and I think I'd be okay somewhere in the top 50 for sure. I mean, I mentioned him recently, but like a Chuck Buffalo or even a Renat Gladiator Fakhretdinov, them one that's has some wins, has some good pedigree, and might have an answer for that wrestling game. But I don't know if I'm going with a ranked guy just yet. But again, maybe he's a couple fights away from really getting that nod with that kind of dominance. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, I'm not mad at either of those names. Oh man. I have a decent fight that I think would be a good step up for him. Again, nowhere near ranked. I don't want to go that high. But I do think that there's and you know I love to do this, the winner of X fight, right? So we have a fight between Seok Hyung Ko and our guy Jean-Paul Labassi. The man, the myth, the legend. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be a really, really fun fight.
Yeah, that honestly, I'm just laughing. The delayed effect on that gift there, but yeah, no, I love that name, brother.
Jean-Paul Labasnoyani. I'm just gonna start calling him Mufasa. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. Just call him Mufasa. Oh man, Manowitz. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. If I'm being a little bit more kind of wishful thinking, and I hate this for both names I'm going to throw out here, Nano. Just know that I did say I hate these already. With all due respect, I am saying with all due respect, Jack the Joker Hermanson sitting at 55 on Tapology, coming off of 2 TKO losses back-to-back in 2025, or Tim the Dirty Bird Means coming off of a sub loss and a TKO loss. I can't remember. Did he actually retire? I don't think he retired.
I don't know. Maybe we didn't get a formal retirement. I can't recall.
I don't see that he's retired. But his last loss was to Court McGee too, which for those of you that don't know, you could play as Court McGee in UFC Undisputed 3. That tells you how long he's been in the UFC. Abus can fight Hamza, but not Izzy, huh? Okay. I'm just shitting on Hamza, bro. I'm doing that in hopes that Crossover sees it and it strikes a nerve. You see that fucking forehead vein pop out for him. Oh, man. Let's jump into the next one. In the next one, we had a middleweight bout a light heavyweight bout between Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev and Julius Walker. This fight lasted 8 seconds, so respectfully, I am going to give you guys about the same amount of time in breakdown. Julius Walker was an NPC, and Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev was the main character. The main character walked in to the low-level NPC, landed one shot, and it's all she wrote. The fat lady saying, "That's it. Them's the breaks. That's the fight." Did we learn anything? Not really. The guy's got one-shot knockout power. And Julius has the ability to get knocked out by someone with one-shot knockout power. Nano, what were your thoughts on this 8-second fight?
I don't know if I could give my breakdown in 8 seconds, but maybe in 8 words or less. The hype is real on this kid! Exclamation point. There we go. That's close enough. Yeah, man. I mean, it was a hell of a performance, hell of a shot landed by an Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev, who a lot of people have a lot of respect for. Shout out the country Turkey. We did just beat them in soccer. Shout out USA. Love that connection. But hey, we're talking fighting, and this guy is out there getting W's. And people think, and it was against an American, oddly enough. So I guess we're 1-1. We're even, Turkey. And yeah, Turkey's got someone. This guy is absolute savage, absolutely the truth. In a light heavyweight division that's always looking for a new contender. I know you mentioned Alex Bajeda there at the top. Man, who's not to say this is a guy that can maybe have a similar path there to the top of the division. Again, just based on the hype that we've heard of this guy. And if you're doing things like this, I mean, the reality is it was 8 seconds total. You could argue it might have potentially been the fastest knockout in history. It could have been a 6 or 7, maybe 5 second fight, because that's how fast it was. But yeah, man, loved it. Loved every second of it. Let's go.
It was a fantastic fight, all 8 seconds of it that it lasted. And Abdul Rakhman Yakhyaev is just proving that he's going to be an absolute fucking problem for a very shallow pool of light heavyweights. Look, I'll tell you what. If we want to talk about what should be next for this guy, I think the sky is the limit, and right now we need to see where the ceiling lies. There are 3 names that I'm going to throw out to you, and all 3 of them are in differing stature, right? So on the bottom of the pecking order, our guy, we love you to death. I hate to do it to you. Modestus the Baltic Gladiator Bukauskas. It's just a name that makes sense. He's right outside of the top 15. I think it's a fun fight. And then somebody that is right inside of the top 15, somebody that is undefeated in the UFC thus far on a 5-fight win streak, 3 by way of decision, the last 2 by way of TKO here in this year alone. I'm talking about a Navajo Sterling, which again, I just think makes a lot of fucking sense. It's funny because Typology has him at 15 and he's number 12 in the UFC official meta rankings. Now, the other name that I have for you, Nano, and I think you might like this one the most, depending on how hard we want to smash these 2 shiny toys together. I'm talking about the professional Azamat Murzakanov coming off a TKO loss, sitting at number 10 in the Tapology rankings and number 9 in the UFC meta rankings. What names did you have?
Ooh, man, those are solid. Those are solid. I honestly, and I don't know if it's because I don't want to say he feels like a gatekeeper. This guy's on a 3-fight win streak, all TKOs. But I love a Dustin Jacoby. I think somebody like that, somebody in that caliber is who I'd love to see this guy go off against. I mean, he's currently sitting at the 21 spot. Jacoby's sitting around 16. I mean, you mentioned the shiny new toys. I mean, I think I'd like to see this guy just get in any action with anybody at this point. But I think that's a good range. I love the names you said as well, to be honest.
Oh man, either way. I mean, I just hope the next one is just as exciting, but slightly longer, if I can make one request here. But I digress. I think Julius Walker's probably going to get cut. Sad times. Cue the violins, if you know what I'm saying here. He hasn't had a great run, has he? But We appreciate your service for building up the future champs of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Olin, your boy from Instacart. Let's fucking go.
Hey.
Let's go. Richard Smarth. Who is that?
Great name.
Send me an IG message so I know which of my boys from Instacart it is. The alias. Oh man. Let's jump into the middleweight division for a bout between Nursulton Ruziboev and Andre Pulaev. Oh my goodness, Nano. This fight was absolutely wild. Not because it was a crazy good fight, right? Between the two of them, there were less than 30 total strikes landed. However, if you like the sport of MMA and not just knockouts, this fight was for you. You gotta check it out. Tall, handsome dude from the Par Wednesday in Chicago. Let's go, my guy. Oh man, don't do that, lazy bet. Don't do that.
He did not just.
Don't do that.
Lazy. That's hilarious.
You don't want to do that, bro.
It's a great soundbite as well.
You don't want to do that, bro.
You going there? You going there now?
We don't want to fucking go down that road. We don't go down that road, no, ma. No, take the lead on this one. You don't say that. You take the lead on this one. Tell me what your thoughts were on this absolutely brutal submission that we witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, man, it was every bit of brutality, as you mentioned there. I have a lot of respect for both of these guys. Nursulton was the Ben favorite. That's probably who I would have put my money on as well. But Andre Pulaev, I mean, he had some moments, man. I mean, both of these guys are tall for the division. Andre technically outstruck Nursulton, but it was really the takedowns and obviously the beginning to the end there for Pulaev when it comes to that choke and for his consciousness as well. I have a lot of respect for Nursulton. I think he's an absolute dog. He's somebody that we've seen fight in different divisions, that's taken short notice fights, that will probably continue to climb the rankings. I'm curious to hear, who we feel is next for him as we break it down. I have someone in mind, but brother, I mean, what did you think here? How did you feel? And what were some of your big takeaways here from another exciting and unique win from a Nursulton Black Ruziboev?
Man, holy RNC. It was a nasty rear naked choke from him. He put his opponent to sleep effectively, and the images, my goodness, if you have not seen them, they are just absolutely wild. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Like, you saw him release this guy, and when I showed it to my significant other, literally, she's like, it looks like a man releasing a dead body and rolling it off of him. And I was like, yeah, babe, pretty much. That's basically what happened there. If he hadn't released it, it would have been a dead body. Folks, this is just an edit of it. I'm just going to tell you straight up, there's not a lot of edit going on there. Okay, it's just, that's pretty much what it looked like. One man smiling in victory and another man not really 100% there. Right? He got rear naked choked. If you've trained, you've been there. I've been put to sleep a number of times. Nano seen me get put to sleep. Fun fact. So we've been there, folks. We've been there. Better to happen in training than a fight, obviously. But gosh, Nursulton Ruziboev is an absolute monster. He does move up in the rankings significantly as far as the Tapology rankings. I'll have to double check the meta rankings real quick. Let's see, middleweight. How is he not in the rankings here? That's crazy to me. Because he moved up a decent amount. Is he not in the? Let's see. Oh, he's not top 15 in Tapology either. He did move up 6 spaces, though, to 25. That's who I want to see fight Bo Nickel. But I don't think Bo Nickel would take that fight. He's not going to be willing to go down. That is also who I had in my list to fight Cal Daukaus, which great shout in the chat earlier for a Cal Daukaus matchup. I like that matchup just as much, if not more. And then the last, but certainly not least named, Nano, a man who, I mean, we could call him Charlie because he got the golden ticket essentially in his last fight, being barely ranked and getting to go against a guy that was in the top 5. You know I'm talking about the golden boy, Edmen Shahbazyan. I just think I think that'd be a fun matchup. That's the one I want to see the most. Nursulton Ruziboev versus Edmen Shahbazyan. 2 shiny toys. Bang them up. Nano, who you got?
Man, I actually like that name a lot, brother. I was going to say Roman Kopylov, but to be honest, I think an Edmen Shahbazyan is the perfect name. He's someone that got close to the sun, you know, with the Brendan Allen Allen, that is, and was not able to get the W, but he still showcased to be a hell of a talent and someone that deserves to go up against somebody else who proven talent on a win streak, looking to get in that top 15 and continue to climb the rankings. So I like that matchup a lot, and I think stylistically a lot to learn, and boy, I would love breaking that one down. So sign me up.
Sign me up too. I actually really like your Roman Dolidze call out. I think that'd be a fun matchup. Style wise, it just makes a lot of sense too. You got the mountain man who's very, very well versed, very well rounded in Roman Dolidze. He can negate a lot of the grappling threats that come his way. I don't think Nursulton would go 2 for 2 on takedowns with him, but it would be a very closely contested match. And like you alluded to, right? Like Andre Pulev actually outlanded him in strikes, which tough break for Andre Pulev against somebody that I just think the matchmakers don't like a whole lot. Think about it, like his first fight in the UFC was against Atiba Gauthier, a man who we know 2 things about. He loves cats, and he can probably kill you with either hand with 1 punch. So tough breaks. Another guy I'd like to see get another shot is Andre Pulev. Oh, and let's talk about one of 2 underdogs on the entire card to get a win, Nano. Let's talk about the featherweight division for a minute as we speak on Kaan Ofli and Javier Reyes. Man. Just nasty work from Kaan Ofli. Another submission win in the first round, 4 minutes and 16 seconds in. Not far apart from the opposition that fought right after him, right? So, Mr. Genghis Khan, right? Genghis Khan Ofli, which love the fucking nickname. He has 7 submission wins to his name out of his 14 wins. For those of you that are bad at math, that's 50%. That is half of his wins coming by way of submission in a professional fight where you can get it done by decision, by submission, or by knockout. He's just really good with the subs, isn't he? And in this one, he ended up getting an arm triangle, looked brilliant doing it, sliced through the guard like a hot knife through butter, sharp hands, drops his opponent early on, and then just capitalizes on it while his opponent is still dazed. Gets that first round finish, and bouncing back on the rebound streak is Kaan Ofli, right? What was his last outing? Oh no, he's won his last couple. He won over Ricardo Ramos and Yiza. I thought he was going to lose that Ricardo Ramos fight, and then he got a sub over him. That was fucking impressive. Oh, the guy's someone to watch, man. He's someone to watch. Strength of schedule's there too. I might end up drafting this guy on our fantasy draft on Friday, brother. What are you thinking?
Hell yeah. Love that, brother. Love that. I mean, well, I think that's a great choice, but no, I'm thinking that this guy's certainly trending in the right direction. And a Khan, Genghis Khan, love that nickname as well. But don't love him beating my fellow Colombiano. Shout out Javier Reyes for that. But yeah, I mean, this guy, every bit of violent. And you answered my big takeaway was that he obviously has a preference for the submission wins, but he still has the power to drop his opponents to make them fold, essentially, right? And then when you got him on the ground, like he was trying to do, he was punching his opponent a bunch. It was punches and bunches from short range. They didn't necessarily look to be doing too much damage. So then it just felt like he said, screw it. Let me just go ahead and do what I do best and choke this guy out. So great performance by Khan. He looks big. He looks shredded. He looks every bit. To me, that the hype is real. And I think if he could just continue to stack or rather string together these victories, man, sky's the limit for the kid. Even though I feel like he's an OG almost at this point. Love the performance and can't wait to see him get back in there Do you have any names that are top of mind, brother?
For the featherweight, Kaan Ofli. Man, featherweight is a division that was almost completely destroyed and deleted, right? Not that long ago. So it is not the most stacked division that we have, but there are definitely names that make a lot of sense for this guy. Or sorry, I'm talking about flyweight like it's featherweight, or featherweight like it's flyweight. Featherweight is actually fairly stacked. But still, Kaan is not somebody that's deserving of a top 15 opponent by any means. I think he's somebody that still needs to fight his way up. He's outside of the top 30. I think a C-Rod makes a lot of sense. Or the name I really want is William Gomes. He's somebody that we were high on for a little bit. We saw him have kind of a falling from grace slightly, right? He's 2-2 in his last 4, all by way of decision. I'd like to see him get back on the horse. I don't know if it's going to be against Kaan, but I'd like to see that fight. Nano, what are you thinking?
That's solid, man. I would like to see that fight as well. I think you're in the right ballpark. Outside of your name, if I had to pick another one, maybe someone like a C-Rod. Christian C-Rod coming off a win as well. Another submission win. So, he's got that in the arsenal.
That's the first name I said.
Oh, is it? Maybe, honestly, it's funny. I'm going with that one too. It's funny. I heard you say it, but I think I was thinking it in my head. I'm like, okay, yep, I already got it.
I'm like, wait, did I not say C-Rod?
C-Rod's a big, yeah. I'm just going to reiterate it and try to make it like it's my point because I said it last, but no.
I love it.
Repurpose that. White labeled C-Rod.
That boy ain't right.
I am not right. It is a Monday, y'all. Bear with me.
It's actually been a hell of a Monday, and now I can smell food, so I'm just hungry as fuck.
That's what it is.
My lady is cooking. That's what that means, and that means we're getting into home stretch, folks. Yeah, C-Rod is a great pick, Nano. I couldn't have said it better myself. With that, we move into the welterweight division for a bout between Daniil Donchenko and Theodore Bergren, who is, of course, a household name. Everybody knows him. Everybody's been talking about him. I'm kidding, obviously. He wasn't supposed to fight him. He was supposed to fight Andreas Gustafsson. You know what I'm talking about? The guy who is a bit of a psychopath, has the crazy tattoos. Bane is the name. And he comes in like he was raised in the darkness, where others have just adapted to the darkness. He was molded in it. No. This guy had heart problems, though. Probably because he was taking too much of the Bane juice. You know what I'm saying? And he had to pull out of the fight. Bad jokes aside, as I pass you the torch here, Nano, to take the lead on this one. I mean, 2 things. 1, impressive performance from Daniil Donchenko. Can't take anything away from him. But I got to ask, do you think he would have been able to do that to a Bane?
I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough to say. Probably not. I mean, what he did to his opponent here in Theodore was pretty savage, as maybe some of the young kids or a kid at one point would have said. Daniil is stringing together some really impressive wins. I mean, that was a perfectly land kick. Maybe you can make the case that Bane wouldn't have fell for it, but I mean, he set it up perfectly. No telegraphing what he was going to do. And like I said, I mean, Daniil, someone we grew to be a fan of from his time on The Ultimate Fighter. And ever since then, like I said, I mean, he's blossoming, right? I mean, and I think that's best case scenario. You want to see someone with some potential. You want to see someone get into a good training camp and continue to dive fully into the process and really become a pro. And that's what that's who he is now. He is him. He is Himothy. Daniil is someone I want to continue to see fight, and maybe they run that back, right? But I think in terms of what's next, whatever it's going to be a big opportunity because, again, he really is making himself the obvious choice, which is something I like to apply to my personal or professional life too. Make yourself the obvious choice, really stand out from the crowd. And he asked for the money. I hope he got the $50K as well. I don't know if at least I'm looking on the site now. I don't see a performance bonus here, but hopefully he got a little extra kickback for that one. What do you think, brother?
I'm going to ask Rock who got the bonuses for UFC Baku. Let's see what it says. And in the meantime, I got to say, Great fucking breakdown as always, my boy. And B, this felt like deja vu, but it happened first, right? This was the first happening before we saw the deja vu in the main event with Rafael Fiziev, right? It was a blocked head kick from the rear side, almost clockwork. The difference is one was a spinning back wheel kick, the other one was a round kick, traditional style Thai kick to the head. He blocked it. He got his hand up just in time, but not here. He got it here. So he slapped himself in the fucking head, and it's just tough to see, kid. You know, like when your big bro grabs your hand and he makes you smack yourself, and he's like, "Why are you in yourself? Why are you in yourself?" Like, you are the one hitting yourself, but it still hurts. And that's exactly what we saw in this one. It did hurt. It didn't feel good, right? So, you know, it doesn't matter if you block it. It matters how you block it. Ultimately, that's what matters the most, is how you block the strike. Not that you block the strike, right? Like, if you just lift your leg, that's more effective than leaving your leg on the center line. But if you lift your leg and you turn it outside, that's a leg check. Okay, folks? That's how you check a fucking kick.
The new angle?
Realistically, that's how you do it, you know? I accidentally did that the other day, and Pip thought it was hilarious, so I figured I'd throw it in.
So cool. If you hit with like a look too, like, oh man, look at the second camera. Come on, man. I like,
you know
that.
what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to effectively block these fucking shots, and he simply didn't do that. That's why he got knocked out. And I will say another thing that Daniil Donchenko did really, really well in this fight is he was setting everything up with the leg kicks very holistically. He started leading with the leg kicks. He would throw an inside leg kick and then pop, 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 quick 3 shots. Throw an outside leg kick, pop, 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 quick 3 shots, quick 2 shots. And then by the time he starts coming to the body and the head, like, you don't know what the fuck he's going to do next, because he's coming at you from all angles, even when he's throwing from low. It makes it very hard to make the reads. It makes it very hard to actually know the path to victory. And that's ultimately what led to his opponent's demise there, right? So great win for Daniil Donchenko. Do I think he would have done it as emphatically against Andreas Gustafsson? Maybe not, but who's to say, right? Nano, before I give you names, who do you have on the tip of your tongue?
This is where, again, I'm having a hard time, you know, as far as like how far do I want to throw the kid, because that was a hell of a performance, and there's some really exciting names. Honestly, I think it can be anybody that wants to smoke. He might be someone that's also willing to maybe say yes to a short notice fight. I mean, this guy's already fought twice this year. You know, how quick is he going to want to get thrown back in? But I wouldn't be opposed to someone close to that top 25, 30-ish, right? Someone I love and we've seen for a long time. They actually maybe kind of look like siblings a little bit, but I'm talking about like the Celtic Kid Matthews, or a Punahele Soriano. I really like both of those matchups. I want to say Puna might have been on an old season of the Ultimate Fighter. I could be wrong on that, but
I think Puna was on Contender Series.
Well,
I think he was a Contender Series guy.
That's the narrative. Both of them clashing, seeing who's better. But
who's the better alum?
There we go. Someone in that range. Someone that's violent. Someone that has some namesake, right? I guess that'd be my only thing. Is let's give him someone that's been around the block and see if he can dance. What do you think, brother?
I definitely like those names. I think you're in the right zip code. I would say 3 names, or 3.5 names technically. So at the top of the list, I'm going to go Muslim Salikov, the king of Kung Fu, coming off a TKO loss back in 2025. Straight left hand to grounded punches via Euros, the Dr. Medic. I don't know if you remember, that was a nasty one he came off of. The other one is a guy that's on a bit of a long-term skid here. We're talking about a Mamba Dembo Garimba. Coming off of 2 decision losses and a submission loss. He has not won a fight since 2024, since was it The Rock bought him a house? Maybe that house is cursed. Outside of that, I think you give him the loser of Jeremiah Wells and Mick the Big Warrelby.
Ooh, yeah, that's solid.
That's probably my favorite one.
I like that a lot.
I think either like Jeremiah Wells will be a fucking fun matchup for him, and Oralby will be a great test for him. If you can get past an Oralby who's very, very tough to put out of there, especially if you can put him away, whoo-hoo! Stock builder, major stock builder, brother.
Absolutely.
But I am not mad at your names at fucking all. Let's go ahead and talk about the bantamweight boys here. We got Beksak Almakhan coming in against Jean Matsumoto in a fight that a lot of people thought was scored incorrectly. You know, it was a bantamweight banger. It went the distance, 70 to 89 on total strikes, 69 to 79 on significant strikes, and 2-0 on takedowns, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. I'll be honest, like, watching the fight, and granted, I did have Jean Matsumoto on my picks sheet, so maybe there were some rose-colored lenses there. I can't deny that I thought Jean did enough to win the fight. Did I think that it was an incredible performance from him and that he looked like a world breaker out there? No, but he was fighting fucking Almakhan, who is a beast in his own right. So it was a competitive fight, and I thought that Jean did exactly enough to win, nothing more, nothing less. I'll leave my breakdown at that. I thought he looked smooth. I thought the entries were there. Again, like, he landed takedowns. He shot 10 times, got 2 of them. Is that a high percentage? No, it's a 20% clip. Did his opponent outland him in accuracy across the board? Yes, it's easy to outland me in accuracy on takedowns if you're not attempting any, though. And again, it's also easier to outland me or outdo me in significant strikes and total strike accuracy if you are throwing a significant amount less than me. And by the way, significant strikes attempted for Almakhan, 159. For Jean Matsumoto, 229. Like, make no mistake, there was a much more active fighter out there, whether he was hitting or not. And by the way, he also did outland him. So give me Jean Matsumoto. I thought the judges got this one right. You will hear me often talking trash on the judges and the refs. This is not one of those times that I'm going to talk shit on the refs. I thought they got it right, Nano. What'd you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think, like we said at the top of the show, there's some controversy when it comes to the judges' stoppages and potential scorecards. I thought the right fighter won. I thought it was a close bout, but I did think that Jean Matsumoto had just the more impactful shots. He was able to recover really well. And then the takedowns, even though it was only 2 out of 10 that he was able to land, I think just all things indicated that, at least for my eyeball test, knockdown aside, even if you score that a 10-8, I just think Jean was able to bounce back in a strong way and yeah, able to get 2 out of those 3. In terms of what's next for him, you know, he's someone that's sitting in that top 25, and this was a decent win, but it wasn't, you know, an oh shit moment, or obviously wasn't the judges' scorecard were needed, and people might have debated that his opponent won. The reality is his only losses are to a Habib Fanch and to a Farid Basharat, who are both staples and really talented, notable opponents. Why don't we keep the streak going? What about a Bryce Thug Nasty? Huh? What are we thinking about something like that? I don't know. Even a Ricky Simone, both floating above him in the rankings. I just want to see him continue to fight notable names and put on notable fights. What do you think, brother?
Ooh-wee. I'm not mad at Ricky Simone. I'm not mad at either of those names, bro. Yeah, I like that a lot. I actually really like that a lot. For Matsumoto, who did I have here? I had Victor Henry, which I like your names better. And if he's willing to take the fight down, Jakob Wiklotz, I think would also make a lot of sense. He's fighting out of where is he fighting out of? Sweden?
Oh, there you go.
Or no, Poland. Polish Power. He's got 11 wins by submission. Bit of a submission machine. So I think that'd be a fun matchup for him. I think he'd provide a nice test for Jean Matsumoto, but I'll be honest, out of all the names that you or I have just said, I think Ricky Simone is probably the funnest fight.
Hell yeah. I mean, he is.
And let us know in the chat, folks. Let us know in the chat as we jump into this last bout of the night. We had a welterweight bout between Tahir Abdullayev and Jefferson Nascimento. Nano, do you know, is Jefferson Nascimento related to Alan Nascimento?
Ooh, I feel like that is a relatively popular name. I could be wrong. Maybe they're family members, but I don't know for sure.
Apparently the 100K winners real quick, the 100K winners. So no fight of the night bonuses were awarded. There were several 25K finish bonuses for notable stoppages. And the 100K winners were Rafael Fiziev, Asu Almabayev, Abdul, Rakhman, Yakhyaev, and Daniil Donchenko, each won 100K.
Solid.
I think Daniil Donchenko might be the first man in history to ask for the bonus and receive it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Usually it's not the way it goes with Dana. He's like, you ask for money? No, thank you. You make us look bad. You get nothing. You get a bag of Skittles.
Shame.
And you can walk to the fucking airport. Oh, man. Speaking of walking to the airport, Jefferson Nascimento might be doing just that. He put in a good effort. He looked good for as long as he did. But in round number 3, just 32 seconds left in the bout, he goes down via knockout. Nano, talk to me, Goose. What were your thoughts on this fight, my guy? Did you think that this guy's a contender?
Talk to me, Goose.
I mean, he's definitely solid. It definitely was a win for him. It was a competitive bout for both these fighters, and I thought it was a relatively fair stoppage. I could see where the controversy was. I could see if you're certainly Jefferson, you're not happy about that. Whether you were winning the fight or not, that's irrelevant, honestly. You got to just look at the situation as is. He was taking some heavy shots. And that's where I think it'd be cool to see the ref's angle, like bird's eye or POV, point of view, because maybe he saw something, maybe he saw the eyes rolling back, or maybe he just didn't necessarily want to see his opponent take any more damage, which is what it boils down to, right? If he felt like it was enough, that's the judgment call. And at that stage, I mean, maybe you're thinking, yeah, with 30 seconds left, like, okay, can he, show me as much as you can? It's slaying the fight. It might go to the judge's scorecard. Like, but again, I don't think you should factor those things in. We as fans might be sitting there like, oh, come on, it's so close. Like, just let him go. But the ref's only thinking about safety and looking at the ever evolving situation there that is a fighter and in a fight rather. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. But yeah, I felt like it was fair. And hell of a fight. But yeah, the tank. You got a tank on you. That sometimes that's going to happen. And even if it was a flash knockout, I mean, I think it probably was a proper stoppage. I don't think anything was going to change from there. And I think the better man won that night. But I'm going to find a solid name here for Tank after. But did you feel any type of way about the stoppage in general, or curious to hear your thoughts there?
I mean, this one was not as egregious as the Nazim Sadikov stoppage, if I'm being honest. I thought it was warranted. Like, he was taking some unanswered shots. I will say there's some controversy online saying that Tahir bit Nascimento. And I actually just saw a video of it. It does kind of audibly look like he was biting him in that last exchange. Yeah, when he's on top of him, it does kind of look weird. But he also just might be burying his head into his chest. So, I mean, it's tough to say. We're not there. If there's no bite marks, if the opponent's not complaining about it, I'm definitely not going to trust Crazy Kev. Sorry, bud. Kind of have a rep. With that being said, I don't know. I didn't think the stoppage was egregious. I didn't think it was egregiously bad, for that matter. And, do I think that this guy's a world breaker that we really need to pay that much attention to in the welterweight division? Maybe not, right? But he's definitely a contender. He's somebody that we should keep an open eye to, especially as he moves up into the upper echelon of talented fighters. Jefferson Nascimento, no offense to the guy, he is not a great litmus test as to do you belong in the welterweight division for Tahir. But now that he's here, he's pole vaulted his way in there. I mean, we could very easily put a noob against a noob if you're down for it, Nano. Like, we could do Farman Hasanov versus Tahir Abdullayev, right? Like, They both came off wins. Neither guy took any fucking damage in their fight, really. And I think they'd make a fun matchup for each other. Outside of that, though, there's still a lot of fun matchups. You can Jack the Joker Hermanson. You can give him Francisco Prado, who's coming off of 4 back-to-back losses. Or if you want to pole vault him even farther up, I mean, you could realistically give him Li Jingliang, the Leech.
Ooh, the Leech, yeah.
He hasn't fought in like 21 months.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. What is going on with him? I like.
He's still sad we didn't get to see his suit at the presser. That got canceled.
I know. He loves his suits, man. He puts a lot of effort into them. Shout out all the tailors out there. I'm going with the Kaan the Assassin song, another Chinaman, but I think that's the right ballpark. I think that's a notable name to your point, or at least to the question you answered. There we go. To the question you answered, or asked rather, does he deserve to, take a step up in level of competition? I think so. I think it's a good litmus test. And shout out Anti-Kenny. Start turning on those notifications, y'all. A little late, but hey, better late than never, right? We're glad you made it to the party. You could always go back, and as we typically recommend, once it's over, go back, like, comment, listen, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. But great to have you, Kenny.
Yeah, man. Again, great performance. There's a lot of fun names for this guy. Do I think that you need to push him to the sky? Not necessarily. We don't know what the ceiling is for this kid quite yet. He fought a newcomer himself, and I just think that there's a lot of other matchups that we could make. Hell, you can even put him against Daniil Donchenko if you wanted to, right? Daniil's not going to say no to that. As you said earlier, he pretty much signs the fucking dotted line. He doesn't really care who's on the other end of it. All that to say, them's the fights. I apologize for dropping out there a couple seconds ago. It's this goddamn mouse. I'm still not used to it having a back button on the side. My thumb is fat, so it hits that button every now and then, and didn't mean to do that. So here we are. Luckily, there's a forward button right in front of it, so I can get right back in here pretty quick as long as Nano can hold down the fort. Folks, whether you're new here, old here, anywhere in between, please do us a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. I'm looking at you, Auntie Kenny. That way you know when we do this. That way you know when we're live, because, we have busy lives. We have busy schedules. We change the day. We change the time sometimes. But you can count on one thing. We're going to be live twice a week for the most part. If we can make it happen, we are going to be here, folks. Great takes or shit takes, you can count on us being here with our takes. And we appreciate you being here to listen to it and give us your takes, which are most of the time better than ours. So we appreciate it, folks. And that's it. If you haven't already done so, again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you do none of the things that we've asked you to do, as I always say, that's totally fine, folks. We're not going to judge. All that we really ask you to do is these next two things. We ask that you keep on going, and we ask that you keep on growing. And we really hope to see you next time.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.